You're listening to the Exploring Fitness Podcast, episode 14. In this episode, we discuss how accessory work can elevate your workout so you can improve strength, mechanics, and help prevent pain and injuries. In 3, 2, 1, go. I'm Dan Dalator. In over 10 years of experience as a clinician and a coach, I've worked with hundreds of athletes to help them improve their health, wellness, and fitness, but still feel that there is so much more for all of us to learn. This is a podcast dedicated to furthering our understanding of health, wellness, fitness, and how to apply these concepts into our daily lives to create true and lasting changes in your fitness and health. This is the Exploring Fitness Podcast. As a physical therapist, much of my job essentially involves the prescription of personalized accessory work. I evaluate someone, find the deficits directly contributing to their pain, deficits that could potentially lead to pain points down the road, or could directly improve their performance, and I give them specific exercises to help improve these deficits. So, I'm a sucker for good accessory programming when I see it. I have personally attended functional fitness classes at lots of gyms over the years, and I don't think I've ever seen accessory programming as consistently well programmed as it is by my next guest. Nobody knows the needs of gym members better than the coaches and owner of that specific gym. And this guy takes that to heart. He utilizes a unique blend of traditional CrossFit and accessory programming to deliver a daily dose of fitness that is exactly what would drive his community towards improved wellness. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. My guest today is the owner and head coach of Live Fit Athletics. He's a CrossFit Level 1 trainer and is also an active life immersion certified trainer. And at Live Fit Athletics, he helps his members get the results that promote steady and marked improvements in their overall well-being. Chris Gahm, welcome to the Exploring Fitness Podcast.
How you doing, Dan? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, doing good. Thanks for being here. So, what exactly is that active life immersion certification? I'd never seen that before.
Yeah, so for a couple of years, this kind of crew kept popping up online. Basically, I believe what they are, they were a bunch of physical therapists that wanted to sort of, in their opinion, kind of bridge the gap between what they were doing and what they were seeing in a lot of like CrossFit gym boxes. And I think they stepped outside of like the physical therapy sort of, organization and sort of kind of created their own brand. And then beyond that, I think they take a lot of coaches from all over and sort of teach them how they can incorporate a lot of sort of injury prevention or kind of lifestyle changes for their members beyond just the baseline of programming.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, really, the first question that I typically ask all of my guests is, what is fitness to you?
What is fitness to me?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I think, the first thing that pops into my head is that fitness to me is an opportunity for us to optimize our capabilities of what we can do in the physical world. And in a lot of days of coaching, I think I kind of use this phrase. It's fitness is sort of the closest thing we have to the fountain of youth. It grabs a lot of aspects of our daily life, like the idea of what we call like functional fitness, the ability to literally move freely without pain, do what we want to do, with our friends, with our family, with our kids. I think fitness is sort of the opportunity or the platform that allows us to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Um, and like I might add on that a little bit, like the opportunity to optimize our capabilities in the physical world, like that. I think that kind of transcends beyond just like our physical ability, but if we're challenging ourselves mentally in the gym, then that can help that aspect as well.
Yeah.
Build some mental resilience at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you see that every day when you work with people. I'm sure you see that when you work with people, and then in like the gym setting, I see that, and it can be the simplest thing, from, just getting outside your comfort zone of learning something new and being vulnerable in that sense, to that like sort of mental aspect, to literally just like in the middle of a workout and seeing people sort of, um, excel when a lot of people may kind of pump the brakes, and allow themselves to sort of explore the next step or next level of yeah, challenge or discomfort.
Yeah, having somebody next to you experiencing something similar, right, during the same workout, like that shared suffering, um, like really helps drive people.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, oh yeah,
yeah,
big time.
it's great. So let's start with your journey, like in functional fitness, or even before that. Just like how did you get into working out, and kind of like lead us up to uh, the opening of Live Fit Athletics.
Okay, I'm gonna keep it brief, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, for me, I began, I would say, a little bit more of like my professional fitness journey about a decade ago. Personally, I needed some change. I feel like you hear this a lot, but I was always an athlete year round, and when it ends, after high school or into college, it ends. You're kind of looking around, and you feel like something is missing. Um, yeah, honestly,
You're
like
just sitting there
100.
twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, and I can't look at myself in a mirror too long, like doing bicep curls. Not that I'm against those, but like, I stumbled across, honestly, my first video was of Rich Froning, was my first video ever. I saw this dude that was climbing ropes, throwing weights around, running, 5K, 10K, and I was like, man, this seems like everything I want in a kind of fitness package. And so, like many people, you find like a local box and you join. Um,
What year do you think this was?
so that must have been in 2012. Yeah, 2012, I believe, is when I kind of found all that and started. So I must have been, what was I, 18, 19, 20, something like that. I can't. Um, and now I'm 31. So, oh, 32. My birthday was yesterday.
Oh,
I'm
dude,
30.
happy
Yeah,
birthday!
yeah.
I didn't even
Thank
know
you.
that.
Yeah. So actually, I'm 32. So believe it or not. And yeah. So basically, what happened though? I became super passionate about the methodology of CrossFit, and also like love the community I was in. I just saw like this completely different sort of environment. And so over the years, or so then shortly after, I started getting more involved in the coaching aspect and the professional side of it. And then over the years, yeah, man, you meet a lot of incredible people from different walks of life, with very unique needs and experiences, and that sort of have just kind of shaped me as a coach and as an owner, and kind of has brought LiveFit where it is. LiveFit started in a woman's garage. This woman in West Kennebunk, um, let me use her garage. So she had like a two-door garage. On one side of it, she had her car, and the other was an empty little space. So she'd like pull her car out, and I would invite people, once, twice, sometimes three times a week to come over. I had one rower, one set of rings. I think I had a random set of dumbbells. I don't think any of them had a matching pair. Um, and yeah, I just kind of ran this gym. Literally was just like overhead carries, some air squats, and you just kind of cycle through.
Nice,
That led to,
making do with what you got.
it was pretty incredible. We actually had to stop just because it got too cold outside, and there was like no heat insulation. So, and then that led me to finding a space in Biddeford, Maine, where I ran that for about 6 years. Truly, yeah, very eye-opening to start something like that and to keep that going. Obviously, that went through COVID, that went through all that craziness. And then now, more than recently, LiftFit now has expanded to a new 5,000 square foot space in Arundel. So couldn't be happier, couldn't be more excited for sort of all the things to come. Yeah.
Nice. So you started it out in a garage, like kind of what inspired you to start doing that out on your own? And like, how has the vision for Live Fit kind of evolved along with the evolution of the spaces that you've had over time? Like,
Yeah, I think so. When I did start opening up in the garage, it was basically just the need of a few people that wanted to get workouts in, and where I currently was at, it was about like a 45-minute drive to a gym that I was currently going to, and a lot of people were like, "Hey, I can't make that work." So it just basically just started from just the need of a few people that led to then a few more people. Word of mouth is an incredible thing, I'll tell you what. And then, so really, honestly, if you can, I guess, put that together, it's like building a sense of community was sort of like what that was. Um, and then sort of the evolution, sort of then you start thinking more about from community to like, how can I actually affect these people? Um, and so I'd say that was kind of how the vision has evolved. It's gone from just me like, hey, we have an hour, I'm going to throw these workouts, get you guys sweating, send you home, to now it's me actually trying to really like sort of work on people with injury prevention, trying to like get people off certain medication. It's a lot of things. You're trying to actually like get involved in their life, not just in the gym, but out of the gym. And so we've kind of created this atmosphere here where we are able to do so with our members. Um, so I'd say, yeah, it's probably evolved where it's gone from sort of just people hanging out in a garage to a little bit more professionalized and a little bit more helpful and beneficial to the members that are here each and every day.
cool. So I've attended multiple classes at your new location, and one thing that I have kind of noticed over time, and what really like from the start, was your emphasis on some like the accessory work.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I like how you build it into every class,
Mm.
and I just kind of want to know like that's not really seen a ton in the CrossFit world. So
Yeah.
what drove you to kind of like include that hybrid approach into your programming? Did the active lifestyle certification have anything to do with that, or?
Oh, yeah. I would be wrong if I did not say that for sure. Their emphasis was primarily on what can we do, what are all these exercises and all this approach that we can address all the issues that you see in your box. And 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 again, my last 10-12 years has been sort of very CrossFit focused. So CrossFit has been my foundation for everything. But what you find are a lot of these nagging injuries. Everybody that comes in is totally different, from experience level to history of injury to what their needs are. And so I found myself struggling for a while, trying to sort of fit everybody under one umbrella. And I found that uh, you say accessory work. I honestly think a lot of it is like foundational work. And so I found that if I'm truly trying to help these people in the long term, if I'm truly, trying to fix them or give them sort of these habits to use over the course of not just a couple months, not just trying to chase a new PR, but honestly try to like transform their lives for the next couple of years, 5 years, 10 years, these are the movements that are going to do it. because these are the movements that are going to make everything else that much better. So, when we do stuff like tons of single leg work or tons of single arm, or a lot of these like banded work before, during, and after workouts, everything else kind of falls more into place, right? So like I'd rather do more of those, and then the strength or the fitness stuff sort of takes care of itself, rather than discovering later that my members need all this extra work to make sure they're not having hip issues or having your chronic shoulder issue, when I can just do that from the start with my members.
Right.
It reinforces proper mechanics. The accessory work fixes imbalances. It builds stability. I mean, it ensures that members not only perform well and do it, but they're able to do it consistently over the course of basically their attendance at your facility, right? So
Yeah. Do you find it difficult or challenging to kind of like balance that foundational accessory work and make sure that you're getting a good like dose of heavy lifting, cardio, and all those other things that functional fitness workouts are known for?
I think in any sort of program, you're gonna always like meet people or have people come in and that maybe you're not offering 100% what they're looking for. But for the general people that are coming, for most of my members and people that kind of stick around for long, they actually have found probably more benefit from the main focus of accessory work, because now their lifts are that much better or feel that much better. And so I guess so the first way I'd put this is, one, by doing all the accessory work, it automatically gives them the results. And so like it sort of takes care of itself, that we don't need so much strength, but we just need very specific strength movements partnered with all these accessory pieces. And then on top of that, if I'm truly doing my job for long term, my programming is very simplistic. It doesn't need to be so complicated, and I don't need to pack in so much stuff. So, it allows me to kind of go old school CrossFit, where, in an hour class, like we are very focused on like, okay, you have 5 sets of 5 back squat today, which you seem to come in every time we're doing that. But like, that's going to be like our main focus today. And so for the first 10 minutes of class, we're going to be doing all of this accessory work to make sure that those 5 sets of 5 are the best squats you can possibly do, and you're going to get the most out of them, and you're going to get as heavy as you can, right? Based on the day, right? And then, any workout after, right, we'll add in. But for me, and what I've seen, is it allows for people to honestly excel more when we do more accessory, and it allows them to excel in the strength or in the workouts, because they're not having to work around these nagging injuries, these nagging issues. They know exactly what they need to do and how to get there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered the question for you, but
Yeah, that's great.
long-winded roundabout way, but
Yeah. So
yeah.
do you have any like specific success stories like off the top of your head about like a certain member who was dealing with something, but then once you started integrating this accessory work, like whatever, their knee pain during back squats significantly improved?
Off the top of my head, I mean, I think in general, like you definitely see a lot of that, right? People who tend to have like these lower back issues, and then you spend a lot of time just building on like asymmetrical loading to create a symmetrical body, is a lot of things. I say that a lot. Um, you know, if I think of like one person that comes to mind, we had I think she was about like 60, in her late 60s. She came in with basically everyone telling her to get surgery on her lower back, right? Like game over. She had every
There's no
list
way
of everything.
there's no way you're going to be able to fix this.
Yeah, all these things.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying she doesn't have good and bad days, but the approach we took was, okay, like if our goal is to avoid surgery, how long will surgery, how long will your recovery of surgery take? And then we basically just said, okay, that amount of time, that 6-month window, we're just going to hammer out all of these type of movements with your daily routines. Um, and now she's been with me for the last, I don't know, 8 years. Like, she's with me for 8 years now. Like,
And
you know,
hasn't had the back surgery.
hasn't had back surgery, still
Yeah.
comes five times a week. She's part of what we call our longevity 60 class, which is geared towards people like 65 and older. Yes, of course, I'm not going to sit here and lie. Like, she'll have flare ups here and there just due to like her trying to lift stuff at her house and work for, nonstop, like those crazy things. But she comes in and yeah, I mean, we're giving her like a sort of a second chance at life. And yeah, it's an incredible thing.
Yeah,
It
that's
truly
great.
is.
Yeah, so you just mentioned that briefly. So you mentioned your longevity class. So your two main options for classes are what you call longevity and lifestyle.
Yep.
Can you kind
Yep.
of like break each of those down? What differentiates the two and kind of why you decided to call them that versus something else, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely, I've changed the name probably 10 different times, but the way my brain works. So lifestyle is our main program that we offer. It is kind of the name of the game. Lifestyle. So it's me creating a fitness program for members. It's a class format. It's 60 minutes long, but it's creating a program that I believe enhances everyone's daily life. Right. So everything sort of has a theme, like live fit, lifestyle class. Like it's trying to improve your day to day, right? They're with me for 1 hour a day. They're out there for 23 of the other hours. So that is what it's doing. So that class is 60 minutes. It is sort of your traditional sort of CrossFit style warm up, strength, workout, cool down. But of course, like you mentioned, like we put a high emphasis on the accessory work. So in that class, you might be doing, strict pull-ups, but you're also doing some single arm overhead carries, lots of band work. You're doing things that I know is going to keep you healthy and strong, and prevent injury. So it's a little bit higher intensity, right? A little bit faster paced, right? It's people that it's your traditional sort of CrossFit style class, right? Where it can have someone who's 18 in it and someone who's 55 or 60 in it, and everyone in between. What's cool about the programming is because it's, again, like all the little things that we add, it allows a coach to easily scale everything. I take a little bit different approach where I actually kind of try to program right in the middle. And so I have members that I scale up for, and I have members that we scale down for. And then most of my members sit right in the middle, where I know, like, traditionally, right, it's like program for the top, scale down. Then I'd just be scaling for everyone. And so, in my opinion, yeah, so it's a very like user-friendly class, that sort of is results driven, and sort of focuses on the long-term success of my members. And then whereas a longevity class, you can imagine just taking that lifestyle class and saying, okay, like all the accessory work we do in that lifestyle class, that's going to be basically our main focus, with then sprinkled in strength and, light intensity, low intensity metabolic work. So a lot of the 65 and older class for the longevity, you're looking at, tons of range of motion, tons of accessory work, and a lot of it's pain management, or just like um, little fixes on what's bothering them day to day. And it's an incredible group of people. I designed that class because excuse me, I designed that class because I feel like that's a group of people that are sort of the forgotten, right? They can go to a Planet Fitness, and, or I don't mean to like, but they can go to like other gyms and sort of just go through some basic movements that they think they know. And there's not a lot of options for them, right? There are classes that, may cater to them, but, not necessarily like improve their day to day. And so in my opinion, I designed that class to say, hey, like here's an offering for people who are a little bit older, who need this sort of intentional movement pattern. And he needs someone to sort of watch and sort of assess you as you move.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Again, what percentage of your community do you feel like is in each of those, or takes advantage of each of those classes?
Yeah, so I think the lifestyle class is probably, you're looking at about like 75% of our community. And then we have about probably maybe a little like, yeah, but like 70% in the lifestyle class. And you're looking anywhere from like 25% in the longevity class. And then we have like we have another class that you're looking at about like anywhere from like 5 to 10% of the total community. Yeah.
Cool. So we mentioned community multiple times here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you personally like foster a culture at LiveFit that encourages people to like stay a part of the community, stay consistent, and feel supported?
Yeah, it's a great question. I heavily rely on the members on a lot of that things. I think the one thing that I really try to do is I try to create a very sort of light environment. So to kind of take a step back, every time every coach knows this, every time someone walks through that door, it's hi, how are you, welcome. I don't care if it's someone that's been coming for 10 years or it's their first day, we're going to greet you at the door. That's like my number one thing. And before you leave, I'm getting a fist bump and I don't care, right? And so like those are those two things. And so in right away, I think that creates this idea or this sort of environment that you're seen and you're here and you're welcome to be here. Everything in between, right, is sort of my job, and I'm talking, I guess, specifically in classes, but it's my job or coach's job to sort of facilitate still a very welcoming environment. And so that's making sure when we go over the workouts that everyone's individual needs are taken care of. So, it's a mandate for coaches that once we go over workouts, we're walking the floor to each person and asking them like, what do you think about this workout? What do we, what are some of the things that we need? And the coaches already have sort of an assessment of people. So, hey, let's get this going. Let's set this up. And so everyone already feels, sort of gets a little bit of that individualized approach there. Beyond that, right, we're constantly trying to create sort of like that out of gym connection with people. So we're trying to foster like a lot of these community events. So local 5Ks, we just did the Arundel 5K recently, the library Kennybunk 5K, we had about 20 people there. We're doing a nice like a Friendsgiving / like holiday end of the year party here. So all those sort of like fun, bringing people together. And then one of my favorite things back into the class setting is like we finish every class with a circle, or at least I try to remember this, but we finish every class in a big circle. And basically this is where I go over announcements. I'll go over just like asking the group like what they're doing for the rest of the day, weekends. And then, it sort of facilitates or fosters sort of this open dialogue between people. And again, so then at the end of the day, it really comes down to like every person is seen, every person is heard, and every person is sort of taken care of or walking through the door.
Cool.
And I want to apologize also if my voice is raspy. We have our hockey program that happened last night, and so I was screaming, yelling, and I lost my voice. I was panicking all day, and now, yeah. So just so you know, yeah.
Doing great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So say it is somebody's first time ever walking into your gym.
Yeah, right on.
They decide they love LiveFit. They decide to be a member. Like, do you guys have a specific onboarding process to make that new person feel kind of comfortable, especially if they're not that familiar with functional fitness?
Yeah. So even before they become a member, most most anyone that reaches out, we always do what we call a no sweat consult in it, and it's free for anyone. So even if you don't join, it's still free. Basically, you come sit down, you meet with myself or one of our coaches, and we'll spend about 30-40 minutes with you, going over every little detail that you want to go over, and then all some of the information that's important to us. So we'll cover sleep, we'll cover food, we'll cover lifestyle, and we'll go over like sort of goal setting. So we'll figure out like kind of what everyone's or what that person's interested in and what they're sort of looking to achieve. And I think right away that automatically sort of sets this sort of like, value added to, hey, when you're here, we're gonna, we are going to care about you, and we are focused on more than just you sweating, but we're focused on like how you improve overall in the wholeness of yourself. And then typically from there, we always do a movement assessment. So, second time meeting them, we do a full movement assessment where we go over their sort of baseline movement. So we go over like mobility, strength, all that. And then we also sort of do like a semi-teaching thing. So just some of the things that they'll see in a class setting. So right away, you've already spent, an hour and a half with a coach. You've been in the building now for that amount of time. I think that eliminates a lot of the fear that people have. And then from there, yeah, we allow them to sort of pick and choose if they want to jump into a class or if they want to do sort of a beginning sort of personal training model where they can, spend some time one-on-one with a coach and just get more familiarized with everything. And then when they do come in for a class, we celebrate it. We always have everybody, welcome them. At the end of the class, we always, cheer on. This is Dan's first class. Congrats, Dan. I try to, yeah. Even though you didn't seem like a beginner, so you lied to me when you showed up. No, I'm just kidding. He's like, what is this, a front squat? I've never done this before. And then, yeah, man. And then we typically just try to like reach out like weekly to then a monthly basis. Hey, checking in. How are you doing? How's Live Fit going? Anything you need more or less of. And we just try to stay on top of that a little bit. And I feel like, that's taken a long time for me to kind of realize is sort of this process onboarding rather than, hey, yeah, just come try a class, check it out, and we'll go from there, right? I think a more structured sort of process has been very beneficial for me as the owner in the gym and as well as new members as well.
Yeah, I think it's valuable on both sides to kind of get that
Yeah.
baseline assessment of, like you said, mobility, strength. That way, each of you are kind of familiar with, I guess, how the gym needs to meet that person's demands, and B, the individual kind of has some level of understanding that you guys know what's best for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So what's next for Live Fit? What's on the horizon?
A lot. I mean, a lot, and the unknown. We're very excited. So we still have a lot of like little construction that we have to do in the building. But we're right now we're in the process. Actually, this wall right here, we're building sort of like a personal training section in the gym, so we can have coaches working with people while we even have classes going on. So we're very excited for that. I'm going to be trying to sort of build what I'm going to call like our wellness corner. And the hopes are that we possibly get like a sauna in there, some cold plunge, a bunch of recovery tools, and so that this allows for sort of that extra sort of involvement in people's physical and sort of mental, emotional well-being. And then we have a few new classes coming up. We have a kids class coming up, and then we're really trying to start getting more involved in the community. So now that we're in Arundel, we're, going to be slowly walking, going business to business or trying to get a little bit more involved in the medical side of things here, and try to like, get a little bit more of that, lifestyle or that sort of overall health approach with people. So we're very pumped, very excited, lots of endless opportunity, and can't wait.
Great. Well, I'm excited to watch the journey.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Any parting words for our listeners?
Any parting words for listeners? Well, if you're in the Arundel, Southern Maine area, and you want to get some good fitness in and get, really good coaching from it, we'd love to have you. But beyond that, if you're anywhere in the world or anywhere in the state and you're working out, kudos to you. Keep crushing it, and keep listening to Dan's podcast here.
Cool. Thanks, Chris.
Absolutely.
Where can people go to find out more information about you and the gym?
Absolutely. Yeah. So online, livefitathletics.com, or Instagram, just livefitathletics, Facebook, livefitathletics. And we have a newsletter. So if you ever want to, subscribe to that, we send those out about once a month, just kind of keeping everybody in the loop about what's going on and some of the things we're doing. And
And people can do that right through the website?
Right through the website. Yep.
Awesome. Well, Chris, thanks again for hopping on here, chatting with me. You have a great gym, great community. And like I said, looking forward to seeing where it goes from here.
Thank you very much, Dan. I appreciate it.